What's up, YouTube? What's going on, CCI family? It's your main man back with the game plan, but you already know that. Look, most people lose money in the market. It's not because they invest. It's because they're not investing. Okay? Or their second thing seem to get uncomfortable. They want to haul tail. So today I want to talk to you about the cost of doing absolutely nothing. Okay? The cost of sitting on the sidelines. The cost of panicking when things get tough. And I'm going to show you two stocks that, in my opinion, are setting up for another run. Now, here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Doing nothing is still a decision. And it's usually the most expensive one to make. When you don't invest, inflation eats your money alive. Your cash works 0 hours, and you think you're being safe. However, you're actually guaranteeing your loss. And here's another thing. When you do invest, but you panic sell the moment things start to turn red, that's how people lock in losses. That's how they miss the recoveries. Okay? That's how they stay stuck. Let me give you an example. If a stock drops 30%, most beginners panic sell. They're out of it. They're running for the hills, right? But here's the math that they never see. A 30% drop only needs to recover about 43% to break even. And the crazy part, the rebound usually happens as soon as the panic sellers are gone. Now, we've seen stocks fall 40, 50, 60%, right? And then this is during rough patches. And then come roaring back to 80, 120, 200% or more over the next year or two. The people who stayed in, lovely, recovered beautifully. The people who sold at the bottom, they just locked in loss forever. You never get it back. All right, now let's get it straight. Building wealth isn't about being perfect. It's about staying in the game long enough for your compounding to show up, okay? For instance, let's talk about Palantir, ticker symbol PLTR, right? Talk about them all the time. Palantir is a stock that tests people's discipline every single week. I know it tests mine, but I love the company, okay? It runs hard, it pulls back, it consolidates, it frustrates even the most patient people. Okay, but nothing about the company's long-term story has ever changed. Remember, I always tell you that if a company's, while you're doing your research, if a company's story hasn't changed, you don't have anything to really worry about. Okay, government demand is still strong. Commercial adoption is growing every day, and AI is still the biggest tailwind of our whole generation. Okay, and look at its history. Palantir has had stretches, where it's dropped 20, 25, 30%, and then snapped right back 40, 50, 60%. Okay, sometimes even more. That's the difference between someone who panic sells and someone who understands exactly what they own. So even when Palantir dips, I don't see panic. I don't see red. I see opportunity. And with your own research, you should see the same things. This is not advice. It's just education, right? Just entertainment. I see a company that's building, expanding, and setting up for its next leg of opportunity, okay? Even if the chart sometimes gets kind of noisy in the short term, all right? Now, let me give you a quiet winner. Okay, a stock that doesn't scream for attention, doesn't trend on social media, doesn't get the hype, but keeps delivering time after time. That's Modine. Modine is awesome. Let's get into this one. Now, this next company has been riding the AI infrastructure backbone the whole way. Okay, cooling systems, thermal management, you name it. The stuff nobody wants to talk about, but every single data center needs. Not once, they need it. You feel me? Now, it ran hard, it cooled off, and now it's sitting around a zone where long-term investors, the ones who actually know what they own, remember that? Now they're watching it closely. Modine's been stacking nothing but wins, okay? And just like Palantir, Modine has had its share of pullbacks, 15, 20, 25, 30% here and there, you know. But every single time, the stock recovered magnificently, okay? And pushed to the new higher levels every time. That's what a quiet winner looks like. It doesn't need the noise. It doesn't need the hype. It just needs the time. So, look. You don't gain wealth by timing every dip. It's never going to happen. You can try all you want. No one can time the bottom. You gain wealth by refusing to quit. Okay? Especially when things start to get uncomfortable. If you put $1,000 into a stock that drops 30%, most people panic. But if that stock rebounds, say 50%, which happens more time than not, you're not just back, you're ahead, up. Most people never get ahead because either they get scared in the beginning or they get scared and never start. Okay? But the people who win are the people who stay disciplined, stay consistent. They stay invested in their future. Point blank. So if you've been sitting on the sidelines, or if you bailed when things got tough, today is the day you stop letting fear make your decisions for you. Okay? You start learning, start building, start staying in the game. This is how you change your future forever. So as always, I want to thank you all for your time today. I do apologize for missing Sunday's episode, but this here gives you a little piece of what was missing, okay? I'm working on another great one for you all. Trust and believe that always. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing, hit that like button, and travel with ChumpChange Investments into the future. You feel me? As always, have a blessed and financially successful week ahead, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.